Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Professionals Unplugged. I am your host, Utkarsh Shukla, and today we have Lili with us. Lili, thank you so much for joining in.
Hey, no problem, mate.
So, let's just start with our very basic question. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience, like who you are, what work you do, anything you want us to know about you?
Okay. My name is Lili Stephenson. I'm known as World Cricket Girl. I do a lot in the space of personal voice and personal boundaries.
That's really great. So, let's start with the cricket, especially in United States, where cricket is still a growing sport. So, what's your take on it, and how do you find yourself in cricket, or how cricket founded you?
Well, cricket found me because my son was introduced to it as a 7-year-old in just a one-off thing at school, and it changed him. He was very mellow, and he came back very excited, enthusiastic. He didn't really have a sport, and then all of a sudden he did, and it was awesome. I thought for those who didn't have a sport, it was something they should know about. We ended up traveling the world. We actually lived in Australia on and off for 4 years so that they could play. There is a lot of controversy. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of drama in USA cricket. The current mindset, current leadership, nothing will change. It's going to have to come from underneath, which it will in time. He wants to play in the Olympics in 2028. He's very confident in his ability and also his message that cultural Americans can play cricket at a high level.
That's really great. So, what were the biggest challenges that you have faced?
All of them. When you believe in something that is not mainstream, when you see the potential in something that's new, you're always going to have challenges, which goes into the other story. When we were in Canberra, my daughter was co-captain for the grand final 2 years in a row for the whole of the ACT. And her second season, she started noticing that she had these weird blue bumps in her hand. And when she would hold the bat, like it was so painful. They ended up losing the grand final by one run because she couldn't put up the numbers that she used to. And a lot of that actually weighed on her that because she wasn't able to do it. So she had to stop playing cricket, which was really hard for her because that was something she liked to do. So that's here in the States, she was only on a boys team. I know Jamie Harrison did amazing stuff in Maryland where they had a ton of girls playing. And where we were in Chicago, there wasn't that support. And so to be able to go to Australia and play on a girls' team and to be able to fill her potential without being judged as a female, she was able to flourish. So to have that taken away from her was hard. But they came back 2020, basically a week before the borders closed. You couldn't get in to see the doctors. This is very odd. We don't know what's happening. Sorry, you can't come in and be seen.
It's very demotivating for someone who is constantly performing or trying to perform, right? So, what was your mindset there and how you tried to cope up with it?
I didn't like the answer no. I'm sorry, there's no cure. I'm like, okay, well, these are modern times. I kind of feel like there has to be something. What my daughter has, it's an IDH1 gene mutation for those of you who who speak that language. Basically, her hand makes extra vein and cartilage. So there's just extra things in there that aren't supposed to be there. And her body thinks that's okay. But usually it's in both hands and feet. Our mate son had something called Olier's, which is a similar disease, but his was very, very severe. And so we were recommended to his doctor down in Scottish Rite. And then we were at Dallas Children's. And then we were at Mayo. And then we ended up back at Columbus Nationwide. So during all of that, we were hearing a lot of the same things. A mate of mine in the UK talked to me about, it's called redox signaling molecules. And I'd never heard of them before, but it's basically something that lives in the geneticist world. Mitochondria make ATP. Once that ATP is made, kind of like the byproduct thing is this little spark. It's like an extra electron, keeps your process at homeostasis. Your body's healing and repairing itself. Well, what happens is when your cells basically stop doing that, things start going awry. So I started doing research, going into Google Scholar, looking at what has been going on in universities. And in talking with my daughter's primary care doctor, she said the problem, we're going to put that in quotes, is as university research gets going, she says there's usually a gap between what is new in universities and when it actually gets across. When you're doing something new, you're going to come across pushback because these little molecules are offered in a direct marketing way So you can't get them on the shelves. As soon as my mate told me that, I was like, there's no way that this miracle, whatever, is just available because you told me about it. She's like, no, don't look at it that way. I know there's stereotypes. Your body knows how to heal itself.
Right.
Just give it a chance. And then it's funny because I'm saying this can't be true, where I'm trying to promote cricket in the United States. What happens if a cultural American becomes top of the world in cricket? No one's going to believe it. That's crazy. Who would ever think that? Okay, a direct marketing company has been able to stabilize this. I said, well, okay. So I supplemented them myself. I could only eat 5 raw vegetables. I was down to 119 pounds. I can now eat anything, which is bad, by the way. Just because you can't eat everything doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
I had chronic pain, went away. I didn't sleep hardly at all. And now I sleep solidly through the night. I don't even wake up to go to the toilet. I don't understand science. I really have to find out what is going on with this. So I went to Rare X and I finally just cornered a geneticist and said, I need to talk to you about something. And so I explained everything. And he just kept saying this word NRF2, which is a genetic pathway. And he got very nerdy about it. And I actually really appreciated it. And in short, he said, anything inflammation wise, if you positively affect this gene pathway, your body drops its own inflammation. And he said, everything you're talking to me about, it falls within that. And that's why your body was able to take care of itself. What happens when your cell divides? That's when your DNA replicates. If your cells are talking to each other like they're supposed to, then in theory, shouldn't your DNA then do what it's supposed to? I don't know. But we can find out. Nationwide is now working with someone in Korea to see about getting a study of one with this direct marketing product. They've seen enough research in the universities, in short or in long. Don't quit. Dr. Manning, I don't know if you know him. Dr. Manning is a sports psychologist. He really focuses on that can-do mindset. I can do this. It's really changed a lot of how we look at things.
Correct. I totally agree with you and resonate with your points. One question I really like to ask is like, what's next for you? Like, what is your dream right now?
Man, my dream right now is to get this study done. If this works for her, there should be a piece of paper and a couple of universities that watched it work for her. Because I'm glad to be fair, she was a geneticist assistant. She's like, well, just do it. I'm like, and what? It's not scientifically verified, therefore it doesn't work. It's getting my kids where they need to be. That's my goal.
So, who is your favorite cricketer right now?
I'll tell you a little story. Once upon a time, we have a mate of ours in England. She was able to arrange to play a match out there. And somehow the communication got lost. He thought that they were trying to teach this kid how to play cricket. So when we rock up, one of the kids on the team, oh, you're the American, let me teach you how to bowl. And he grabs the ball. He's like, I know how to bowl. And so he gets to the nets and he bowls out their best batsman. And they're like, oh, but the thing they said is he's an American and he knows how to bowl. And that didn't sit well with him as a 12-year-old because he was being defined as this is my country, therefore I can't do this. He said, if that's how I'm going to be defined, this isn't where I want to play. But at that time, though, we were huge ECB supporters. Joe Root was one of his favorites. And then we had the opportunity to go to Australia to play. And there, I ended up being able to volunteer where Pat Cummins and Hazelwood were. And so I'm having conversations with them. We've got a picture of Pat Cummins and Nick. There's no fences, there's no whatever. They're literally just standing on the ground. For us, Pat Cummins he's genuine, he's great. Yeah, and he's our fave.
One of the greatest captain as well. Already won Test Championship and World Cup.
It's an awesome cricket culture there, and we learned a lot about the sport of cricket from our time there.
I think I totally agree with you on this point. Like the culture that Aussies have in terms of cricket is totally redefining them, and that's why they are able to win all those trophies, especially in women's cricket as well. Like their dominance is at different level.
When we got there, and Rebecca was on a team of all girls, it blew her mind away because one of the things that she would do in our club in Chicago, the coach would be like, okay, boys. And she'd raise her hand and she'd say, and girl. And he's like, oh, yeah. And they were all mates. It was so good. And it's that community building. And that was something that I learned, and watching her grow. And then to have this, whatever, her body just start doing this, taking her different direction, but then bringing another thing to light. I think it's one of those things where we can take bad things that happen to us and we can turn them into good things.
Thank you so much, Lily, for sharing your story with us. It was really wonderful and keep inspiring.